If you've ever run Google Ads and felt like Google was just taking your money, you are not crazy. Because from the outside, it can honestly look a little bit ridiculous. You set a budget, you pick some keywords, Google tells you it's getting clicks and conversions, but then the leads are non-existent, or the leads that do come in are really bad, the calls don't turn into jobs, and somehow the next thing that happens is that someone from Google is on the phone telling you that the solution is to spend more. So in this video, we're going to talk about the biggest statement that I hear all the time from business owners and dig into if Google Ads is really a scam or not. Google Ads itself is not a scam, but the way that it is set up by default and the way that it gets recommended to small businesses, it can absolutely start feeling like you're getting scammed. So I talk to local business owners a lot, and I constantly hear that they've tried Google Ads and it didn't work for them. Google just took their money and didn't bring in any leads. You got clicks, maybe even like a handful of conversions, but you didn't get real paying clients from it. And that experience makes Google Ads feel like a slot machine, in all honesty. Money goes in, activity comes out, but profit is nowhere to be seen. And the danger is that most business owners react to that experience by swinging too far in one direction. So either they decide Google Ads is a total scam and never touch them again, and the risk is that you miss out on a real channel that could be working and bringing you in actual clients. Or they go in the complete opposite direction and completely trust Google. They let the platform run on autopilot and watch their budget evaporate. Both reactions are understandable, but both of them are kind of wrong. And the honest answer is Google Ads is not a scam, but it is also not a system that you can blindly trust. So Google Ads is a real advertising platform running on a real auction system. So local businesses absolutely can get good clients from it. And I honestly would not be working as an ad strategist if I didn't see it working. But, and this is the part that people need to keep in mind when it comes to Google, Google is not designed around your profitability or your business's profitability. It is designed to sell ad placements. So those two jobs are completely different. Google's job is not to make sure that every local business gets profitable leads. Google's job is to sell clicks, sell impressions, and sell ad inventory. And that doesn't make the platform fake. It doesn't make the auction rigged, but it does mean that the burden is on the account manager or on the business owner to know what you're doing. And so the mistake I see constantly is the assumption that because Google is recommending something, it must be good for your business. And sometimes it is, but a lot of the times it's only good for Google. And the clearest place that I see that play out is when it comes to the Google reps. This is the part of Google Ads that I do feel is the biggest scam that people need to be aware of. So if you've ever run Google Ads, you've probably gotten the numerous calls and emails from Google reps who want to help you set up your campaign or improve your campaign performance. One thing you need to know is that those reps are not direct Google employees in the way that you'd imagine. They are not sitting in Mountain View behind a computer, looking at your account, suggesting changes that are gonna make everything work better. They're often third-party reps hired to support Google, and their incentive structure is not to make you and your business more money. It is to get you using more of Google's features that will use your budget and then get you to spend more money on Google Ads. So they'll oftentimes recommend things like starting a PMax campaign, turning on AI Max, use broad match keywords across the board, increase your budget, accept all of the automated recommendations. But the thing is, none of those are bad by any means, and they can work when they're used in a specific strategy. And the big issue is that when they come recommended from the Google reps, they are not being used in a strategy that will make the business win. They're being used in a strategy that will make Google win. And so oftentimes what you'll see when you make those changes that the rep recommends is that you'll see a really big jump in impressions, you'll see an increase in clicks, which is all good, but then if it leads to more conversions, those conversions are usually lower quality, or they don't lead to more conversions at all. And then in a few weeks, the Google rep will come back and say, now you need to increase your budget. But for a local service business, more activity doesn't automatically mean better leads. And I do want to be fair here because I'm not trying to villainize anyone. Some Google reps are genuinely helpful. Some of them really know the ad platforms really, really well, but not all of them. You should treat their advice as a neutral strategy. Treat it as advice coming from someone connected to the company that profits when you spend more. And that doesn't necessarily mean ignore them. It just means take anything they say with a giant grain of salt. Filter anything that they say through that lens and ask questions about why you should be making these changes. Ask what it will do for your account, and specifically, how is this going to get you more leads and better leads? And if they can't explain how their recommendations are going to lead to better clients, not just more traffic, don't blindly accept it. Okay, let's talk about the emotional experience here, because I think this is what trips people up the most. A Google Ads campaign can look completely active and like it is working really, really well from inside the dashboard, but it can also not be benefiting your business. Google can spend your full budget every day, even if the campaign isn't profitable. It can show your ad for weak, low intent searches. It can count low quality actions as conversions. It can drive in calls that never turn into jobs. And the dashboard can look really good. The numbers can be moving, and you, the business owner, are sitting there feeling like nothing useful is actually happening. And this might look like, a plumber paying for clicks from people searching how to fix a leaky faucet yourself. Those people don't want a plumber. They want a YouTube video on how they can fix it themselves or DIY it. Or it can look like a contractor getting form fills from people who live 3 counties outside of their service area. And that's not Google scamming you. Most of the time, it's a setup problem, and it's a campaign problem. The campaign was built in a way that lets all of that traffic through, and then it counted that traffic as success. And one of the biggest setup problems, maybe the single biggest one, is that the campaign might be optimizing towards the wrong thing entirely. So in this next section, I want you to really pay attention, because I think it's where most Google Ads is the scam stories actually live. So here's the rule. If you tell Google that every form fill, every phone call, every page visit to your site or click on your page is a win, then Google will get more of those actions, even if those actions never turn into revenue. And Google will always take the path of least resistance. So if you're telling Google that a click or a page view is a good conversion and it can get you a lot of those, it is going to lean into getting you more of those actions that aren't truly conversions. So imagine your campaign shows 30 conversions this month. Looks great, but look closer. If 8 of them were spam form fills, 7 were missed calls, 6 were people asking for a service that you don't actually offer, 5 were price shoppers who never responded when you followed up, and only 4 of them were real opportunities. The account says, great, 30 conversions. It thinks it's doing a good job. But then as a business owner, you're thinking, I only got 4 real leads. Both numbers are true. They're just measuring different things. And so the fix here is something I'm a little obsessed with, honestly. Local businesses need to track lead quality, not just lead volume. And so that means looking at which calls actually lasted long enough to matter, which form fills turned into real conversations, which leads booked appointments, which jobs actually closed and got paid for, and then ideally working backward, which keywords and which campaigns are creating revenue, not just leads. Because the biggest mistake I see over and over again is letting Google optimize for activity when what you actually need is true conversions. Another issue that tends to lead to Google Ads as a scam stories is that no one is actively managing or optimizing the account after the ads go live. Your search terms matter a lot. Adding in your negative keywords matter a lot. Your match types, your location settings, making sure the display network and the search partners are turned off. All of that matters. And the campaign type that you choose. And if nobody is actually checking those things on a regular basis, the account will waste money in the background while bringing you bad leads. And so usually I see a lot of things like broad match keywords pulling in searches that are technically related to your business, but aren't from people who are ready to buy or who are looking for a competitor. No negative keywords that are blocking those bad search terms like DIY, free, jobs, how to, ads showing to people outside of your actual service area because the location settings aren't being tightened or looked at. The display network being turned on by default and dripping low quality clicks into your spend. Search term partners doing the same thing. Campaigns running at 2 a.m. when nobody can answer the phone. Any one of these things can quietly burn like 20 to 30% of your budget without showing up a single obvious problem. The takeaway is Google Ads accounts need regular cleanup. Not once, not when things already look broken. You need to be in there regularly. And so Google Ads is not a set it and forget it ad platform. You need to set it up, watch the search terms, cut the waste, and keep refining it as it goes on. And I don't want to sound dismissive here because there are real legitimate concerns in the Google Ads ecosystem that I think it's fair to at least mention. Valid traffic is real. Click fraud does happen. Competitor clicks happen. Yes, your competition can absolutely click your ads to try to waste some of your budget. And spam leads do happen as well. Some advertisers do abuse sponsored placements to mislead people. Some companies misrepresent who they are in their ads. So if you're skeptical, you're not wrong to be skeptical. But here's where I want to be careful with you. Not every bad result is click fraud. Not every weak lead is a scam. Not every expensive campaign means that Google is cheating you. Most of the time, the more boring explanation is the right one. Bad tracking or bad campaign setups, your weak targeting, loose match types, a poor landing page, missing negative keywords, slow follow-up. So be skeptical, but also be critical of how you're running your campaigns. So instead of saying Google Ads is a scam, I urge you to dig deeper into your account. Are my search terms actually relevant to my business? Are my conversions real, or am I counting junk? Are my calls being answered? Are my leads inside of my service area? Are my ads running at the right time of the day? Are we tracking booked jobs and revenue, not just form fills? Are we actively excluding bad searches? The more specific your diagnosis is, the easier it is to fix the problem. So Google Ads is a scam is not a diagnosis. We're getting 30% of our clicks from outside of our service area. That's a diagnosis. So you can fix that one in an hour. So if you're running Google Ads yourself, and a lot of you are because hiring help is expensive, here's my realistic advice. Don't just follow Google's automated recommendations, because 9 times out of 10, it's not a recommendation specific to your business. Don't blindly trust the reps, and don't assume that more clicks automatically means better performance. But also on the flip side, don't launch campaigns without understanding the settings and how to set up your campaigns properly. And don't let Google define what success looks like for your business. So if you are running ads yourself, I highly recommend digging into YouTube videos. There's so many creators out there that walk you through exactly how to set up a search campaign properly, how to optimize and clean up your search campaign and your search terms properly as well. And if you are able, join a community that helps you learn the Google Ads platform and how to manage your ads as well. There's some great communities out there too that help you manage your own ads as well. You don't have to become a full-time Google Ads expert to run your own account, but you do need to know enough to avoid handing Google a blank check, essentially. And if you hire somebody, whether it's an agency, a freelancer, or a consultant, the bar should be higher than, they have a website and they say they manage Google Ads. A trustworthy ad strategist should care about lead quality, tracking, and the business revenue, not just clicks and impressions from the ad platform. And ask them a lot of questions about how they manage or optimize their accounts, or how they track conversions and track those conversions beyond the ads platform. How can they show you how many booked appointments you're getting and the revenue that you're getting? A good ad strategist should protect your budget and have your revenue at the top of their mind and not just spend more money. So is Google Ads a scam? No, but it is brutally unforgiving. If your tracking is wrong, your keywords are wrong, your campaign setup is wrong, your landing page is weak, or your business doesn't know its own numbers, yeah, it can absolutely feel like a scam. And I get why people walk away angry. But Google Ads can work. You just can't run it on blind trust. You have to run it on tracking, search intent, lead quality, and actual revenue. So now if you've watched this and you're thinking, okay, fine, I actually want to run things the right way, the place to start is with a clean search campaign, not a Performance Max campaign, not AI everything, not whatever the rep just told you to turn on. A regular search campaign set up properly from the ground up, where you control the keywords, you control the match types, the location, and what actually counts as a conversion. So click right here and watch my video on how to set up a Google Ads search campaign. I'll walk you through it step by step, the way that I would actually build one for an actual local service business. I'll see you over there.